Hey, and just like that, we are back. It's the dream team. You know who it is. It's myself. It's my guy, JJ. Come on, JJ, jump in here for me real quick, man. Let's talk. Um, it's the dream team, man, and we're back with another episode of Hustle and Close. As always, we are brought to you by, we are powered by, we are everything by Vector Security. And I'm excited, man. We've been doing a nice little series here where we've talked about who we are, where we come from. I've done an episode where it didn't intend to be an episode, but it turned out that way because I can talk a lot. My man JJ has done one, but I'm really excited, JJ, because we got a
Yeah.
guy coming in. We got a we got a real dude. Let me tell you, I liken this guy to you've seen Forrest Gump, right? You know how Forrest Gump has like seen and done everything like
Everything.
unknowingly. Like he was a
Yeah.
part of Watergate. He was he played for Dan Brown
Alabama.
at Alabama.
Yeah.
He's done all of these crazy things. Went to the Vietnam War, won a Medal of Honor, like Purple Heart. He's done it all, and I liken this guy to Forrest Gump in that way because he's literally done it all. He's been everywhere. There's not a subject that he can't touch on.
Yeah.
There's not an experience that he hasn't had. So I'm really excited, man, about this episode because we get to deep dive into my guy, which he is. He's just a guy comfortable in his own skin. And he just lives his life, man, to the fullest, day by day. And I'm proud to call him a colleague. I'm proud to work with him every single day. My guy, Chad. What's up, Chad?
What's going on? Hey, that's a hell of an intro, but I got to tell you this, man. I consider you guys absolutely colleagues, but like what we've been going through, man. This is you guys are friends. It's family right now.
It's
This
a
is
brotherhood.
legit family.
It's a brotherhood.
Yeah,
For sure. Man, Chad, man, we're excited to do this with you, man. Before we get into it, man, what's the plans for the weekend, man? What you guys got going on? I'll tell you, I've been on the road. I've been a road warrior, like crazy. I've been on the road 5 out of the last 6 weeks. Next week we'll make 6 out of 7. So, I've been a road warrior, and so everything, all my house duties get done on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's where I'll be spending my afternoon and tomorrow doing. And then Sunday I'll be prepping to travel out on Monday. But so nothing special going on here. I got no special effects. What about you, JJ?
Yeah, so last week I got to spend it out in the woods. Came back Monday and headed over to Madison, Mississippi, the big old town. Isaac recommended this place for me to go eat to. Yeah, and man, they could charge an extra $10 if they will wheelbarrow you out to your car because I probably would have paid it. It was all you.
We'll make them internet famous real quick. It's in a little small town in Mississippi called Madison. For those of you who don't know or haven't been there, this place is called Mama Hamlin's, and I am here to tell you, it will put you down. It'll put you down, man. Amazing Southern food.
What kind of food?
It's Southern cooking. Yeah, Southern cooking, soul food. But it's top notch, man. It's amazing, and they literally have every single option that you can think of. There's not one option that you can think of that they don't have. Every single side, every single entree, like literally anything that you can think of, they can make it happen. So,
I think one thing I liked about it on top of the food was you walk in there and there's this picnic table 50 foot long and you just sit next to your buddy. I mean, if they weren't your buddy when you sat down, they were when you left.
Yeah, it's like family style.
It was awesome. It was neat.
That's awesome.
I was in Fort Lauderdale this week, and oddly enough, I had a hard time finding food, because it's like Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Miami's right there. I was spending half the time in Miami. Miami's right there. So I was going down there to eat and coming back up to the hotel or whatnot. But it was weird. Now I found this one place. I can't remember the name of it. World famous egg rolls, maybe, I don't know. It was in where was it? It was in Miami Gardens, right by the stadium, right by where the Dolphins play. Literally right around the corner. On the way home, I drove right by it. And they sell these egg rolls, but they're not like egg rolls, like like what you would typically expect. They're like high level egg rolls. Like these things have, they have like probably 20 or 30 different type that you can get. I had a southern egg roll which had collard greens, macaroni and cheese, and barbecue chicken in it. I had a curry because obviously
Oh, that
Miami
sounds good.
Caribbean culture. I had a curry chicken one. I had a I don't eat beef, so they do have a Philly steak and cheese egg roll. I got a chicken Philly, because you can mix and match, and they're huge. They're like this big. These things are massive. And I didn't know they were that big. I thought they were like small egg rolls, but like you get when you go to a Chinese or a Japanese restaurant. No, they were pretty big, but that was amazing food. So that's the only highlight really from that. What about you, Chad?
I was down in Baltimore again this week, and I go to this one restaurant called Jimmy's Famous Seafood, and the
Hmm.
only reason I go to it is because every wrestler talks about it. Like
Yeah.
that's the place to go. So I was bragging up these crab cakes, and one of the sales reps there told me about this other place, Ronaldo. Shout out to Ronaldo. Uh, so I went to this place called Coco's. Now Coco's, it by far the most amazing crab cake I've ever had. Right. First off, let
Mm.
me tell you about going to Coco's. So you guys saw Homicide, that TV show you used to call Homicide.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
I
drove
don't
through
think so.
that. I drove through that neighborhood, and then I was in The Wire,
Yeah.
and then I was in. I mean, this is in the bad section of Baltimore. I mean, this place was. But I'm gonna tell you by far the best food I've ever had. Their ribs, I had ribs and a crab cake. The crab cake was 11 ounces, no breading. There was no
Wow.
breading, and these ribs were like $20, and they were amazing for a full rack of
That's
ribs.
awesome.
Yeah, you can't beat that.
And this place was packed to the gill. So shout out to Coco's.
That's
It
awesome.
was it was a really, really good food. It was awesome.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Um, what about this weekend? What you guys got going on? Any plans?
So I think we can go take some clays down and go out. You know, they got a little clay place around that. Take them out there and shoot some clays.
Yeah, that sounds cool. What about you, Chad?
I've so I sit on I help out my friend Tanya, who has she has this amphitheater. It holds about 5,000 people in my hometown. So this weekend is Riverfest, and tonight they've got a band called Stampede, Buck Wild, and then a cover band called Bond Journey. Tonight, tomorrow they've got Gene the Werewolf, which is like a local Pittsburgh dude, the Common Heart, and then the Broom. So that's tonight and tomorrow. But tomorrow night, I'm actually going to the Fully Loaded tour with Bert Kreischer, and so that should. I mean, I get to hear his one joke over again called "The
The
Machine."
machine.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've got that, and then on Sunday I think I might head down to Deep Creek. It's just like a lake around here, so might do that. But my son, he bought a house yesterday. He did his first
Awesome.
closing on his house,
Congratulations.
so he's officially moving. He's trying to figure out how to get out of his lease. I said, just bounce. He like the dude,
leaving.
but he is absolutely Sheldon from The Big Bang, like super smart, but like does everything by the book. I'm like, he goes, well, she hasn't got a tenant yet. And I'm like, that's not your problem. That sounds like a her problem.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
get
He's
going.
looking out for her. He don't want no bad blood.
Yeah, he's a good kid, man. Good
Yeah.
kid. Well, that's awesome,
So
man. That's awesome, man. Congratulations on that. Congratulations to
Yeah.
him. Well, listen, man, you are our main attraction today. You are our featured guest. You are our
yeah,
you're the star of the show today, man. And so this is about you. And I'm excited because I view you as the most interesting man in the world. I don't know anybody,
thanks.
never met anybody who knows the people you know, who has connections that you have. I call you a dot connector because you can literally bridge 2 points better than anyone I've ever met, especially in the corporate space. And I'm really excited about this episode because we know you, but I think the audience should be excited to get to know you even more.
Yeah.
So I'll kick this off, man. Tell me about Chad before, like growing up. Chad before, getting into career and being so career driven. I want to know a little bit about just you before that. I know you played sports, so I want you to get into that a little bit and just tell me about you, man. How was life growing up, and up to I guess to the point where your baseball career kind of hit a point there.
So yeah, I'm an only child. Come from humble family. My mom was a teacher. My dad worked for the government. But I can easily say I'm a wooden spoon survivor. And I was guilty until proven innocent. I mean, honest to God, my dad was old school. My mom was old school. One time, when we were on vacation, my friends they busted into the middle school to play basketball in the middle of the night in the summertime. And my this is before cell phones and whatnot. And my mom checked the voicemail at home, and it was the police. I guess one of my friends who got caught named all of us that were there. Well, unfortunately, I was on vacation and I still got a butt whooping. I mean, down on vacation. I'm like, Mom, I'm here. Like, why are
Yeah.
you hitting me? And and when we went to the police station, like we got back home, we had to still go to the police station. And my dad's like, go in there and tell him. And my dad goes in and he was like, well, ask him what you want to ask him. And they asked me, and I was like, I was on vacation with them. And he was like, why are you here then? Like,
Yeah.
so I was like, because I'm guilty until like I'd like to press charges against these people because they were beating me when I was on vacation. Yeah. So I grew up just small town, south of Pittsburgh, Monongahela. Shout out to Joe Montana and Stan Musial from this area. Got into baseball. Realized very quickly playing sports that I was too small to play football in my hometown. I was 155 pounds. I wish I was 155 pounds now, but went to college, played baseball all 4 years in college, then played a little bit after college. Got hurt, called it a day, came home, licked my wounds. And my mom said, hey, your dad wants you to go to the military if you don't get a real job. Because I think I was bartending, right? And my mom makes this
Bartenders make
joke.
good money, man.
Dude, I was loving it. I mean, I watched the poker machines and waited till I knew when they were going to hit. I'd take my $5 tip, cash out at night. But yeah, my dad wanted me to go into the corporate world, so I went out, got a job, and I got humbled very, very, very quickly. I mean, it was my first real job, right? Like I showed up for the interview, it was the suit, the tie, the whole nine, and then my life started, right? Everything was going. I show up for my very first day. I can remember it because I started in October, and it was
Started where?
raining. Company called Enterprise Rent a Car.
Oh, yeah.
So when I started with Enterprise, it was raining. It might have been sleeting. It was just ugly, ugly day. I show up in my shirt, my tie, my suit. They hand me a brush and a bunch of keys, and they're like, "Hey, there's 12 cars in the back that need vacuumed, cleaned, and washed. get going. I was like, I'm in a suit. They're like, yep, you're going to buy a whole bunch of new ties because every time you're out there vacuuming and that tie gets sucked right back up.
Dang.
It was an absolute mess. But I think being an only child, I had to like make friends and quick. So it helped me from that perspective. My mom being a teacher, like her motto was if you can't say anything nice, then don't say anything at all. And my dad always would just tell me, just don't. His advice was, don't do anything stupid. So I had these two people
That's
on
good
my
advice.
shoulders.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
Not bad advice.
But that was a humbling experience, just because you graduate college, you build up your resume a little bit, and then you decide that, hey, this is it, and you think you're just going to be sitting behind a desk, but no, you're out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, we all had our humble beginnings. I mean, I dug graves. Like when I was 15 years old, I was digging graves
Better
at the
man than me.
cemetery. I was digging graves. I worked at KB Toys for a little bit. I mean, I've done the retail. I've done everything like that. I actually, so I applied for this job when I was at Enterprise. So I had an opportunity. I applied for a position and I took it, and it was it was more B2B sales. So that's where I bridged my gap from being at Enterprise. Now, Enterprise taught me everything. It taught you how to, they have a really, really great management program. It taught you every aspect of the business world. And what happened and why I started looking for to change a career is Enterprise at the time was self-insured. So the only thing that we really sold was this insurance, that additional insurance that you would get when you come rent a car.
Yeah.
And
the one that I always turn down.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, everybody at Enterprise at the time got paid the exact same amount. And what I mean by that, we got our base paid, regardless of your position, you got paid your base pay and then a percentage of what the branch would make. And I had a phone call, I think it was like at 2 a.m. from Detroit Police Department. And I'm not going to say who it was, but it may have been somebody famous that rented a car from us. And it was the police department that they had impounded my car. And they're like, we're flatbedding it back to you. And I was like, okay. Well, when they flatbedded it, it came in pieces because they had cut all the wheels, they cut the tires, they had cut the seats out, everything. The person was transporting drugs. So it was unfortunately a total loss.
Wow. Wow. And
That-
this was the police department that did that?
Yeah, because they seized the car for drugs.
Ah.
And unfortunately, I didn't get paid for a couple of months, and I was like, this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work for me. There's only so many $9.99 weekend specials I can run. And so then I started looking for a job. So I got with this telecommunications company for a while, and I was selling phone and internet to businesses. Unfortunately, that company got purchased, and I went to work for UniFirst Corporation, and I was selling uniforms and facility services. So at that time, my kid, we'd go to restaurants. I trained him so well, he was kicking over every mat in a restaurant just to see who it was so I could call on him the next day. And that's where I got accustomed to cold calling and learning how to knock doors, and because it's competitive. I mean, UniFirst and Cintas were the two big players at the time. And if we didn't have them, more than likely Cintas did. And that's where I learned when you're out in the field, even though you called on somebody and they told you no, you got to keep on calling the same person, because it just takes one time, one thing to mess it up. And I called on an account. It was a massive account, and I think they had at the time they had 2,500 employees in uniforms and the whole facility. And just one day, the uniforms delivery truck didn't make it there, so they canceled the account with their company. Called me up, boom, I was off and running, and I liked it, but I got an opportunity. I got recruited by this company called Paychecks, and it was a whole different kind of sell, right? I went and sold payroll services to companies, and I would purchase payroll companies for from CPAs. CPAs also offer payroll services. So I would go to CPA offices, say, "Hey, let me do your payroll," and you could still offer it, but now you can offer all these other benefits. And that's when I learned about benefits of how to increase profitability, and learned about my EBITDA, my return on investment, and all that kind of good stuff. Out of there, I got a phone call on a Friday from a guy that worked at my main competitor. Said, "Hey, I'm leaving 80, the company where he was at," and he said that he was heading to another private equity firm. And how would I like to take over the Pittsburgh market with this other company? So I went and worked for a company called Shredded under the guise of a private equity firm. And that was my first management opportunity. And I was managing two teams. I had the Pittsburgh and Cleveland market at the time. And we were 65th and 64 out of 65 when I started in March, and we finished number 1 and 2 in the whole company. And every one of my reps were President's Club winners, which was awesome. So I did really, really well there. I managed a really good team, increased it to Cincinnati branch, and then I got promoted and moved to a different role, and oversaw the entire North Division, and we crushed it. I mean, it was awesome. Unfortunately, the private equity firm did a reduction in force, and I was one of the people that was let go. So um, that was the humbling part, and
Nothing more humbling than
literally,
a pink slip.
yeah. Well,
It's happened to the best of us, my friend. It's happened to me
well,
too. Don't worry
what
about it.
made it bittersweet is 2 months later, I get a phone call. "Hey, can you come back? Our sales are down by 95%. So went back there for an additional 8 years, and we eventually sold the organization. And after that, I went to a company called Tradesman International. I was with Tradesman for a while, right before I came here, and the pandemic was getting ready to hit. What we supplied skilled labor, skilled craftsmen, not laborers per se, but like HVAC techs, electricians, carpenters, and at the end of the day, it was a non-union union hall, and we had to build up that way. So, got a phone call from Vector, and our sales were way down. Like I said, Pittsburgh is a highly union area, and most of the jobs that were coming in were union jobs. So I saw it as an opportunity to broaden my career, and came to Vector and been here for 5 years. And I can honestly say I've had a lot of jobs, left for all good reasons. But this is the first time that I've heard it in the past, like bleed green, bleed. I legitimately am bleeding blue for Vector at this point because I see the direction that we're trying to go and the way we are going with our new leadership, and I think it's phenomenal. And the people that I work with are awesome. I can say that there's not one person that I've met that I I don't like at all.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And we're gonna get into that a little bit. We're gonna get more into the career and security here in a second. But I'm gonna let JJ jump in there for you for just a second. Come off mute, JJ.
So, like you were saying, apologize about that. So you were saying all the stories and companies that you work for. Tell me about a story that you think you learned the most about from being in the roles that you have.
So, I had a VP of sales. His name was Shane, who I looked up to. He's I think he's with IBM or somebody now. And I said, dude, I'm taking on this team, and they're just, they're not doing it. He goes, so what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. He goes, you sold, go out and sell, lead from the front. He goes, don't be one of these people that sit in and wait and manage just numbers. Get out there and sell. And I did that. And I can tell you, it created a different culture. Hey, this guy knows what he's doing. He's able to do it. And we landed our largest account. First National Bank was, I don't know how many locations. It was one of my largest accounts. And we absolutely grew with that organization. And it produced them, my sales team, an opportunity to go out and, hey, go after larger accounts. But they maintained the small accounts as well. So it wasn't the feast or famine. So it was a great opportunity. Now, what makes it even better is when I came back to shred it my second go round, the account was in jeopardy of leaving, and they told them that I was back. I had a meeting with them, and we renewed their contract for 5 more years. So it shows that relationship, that the building the trust factor with your customers was the biggest thing. The customer absolutely loved us, and I did the exact same thing when I came here. We had an opportunity with a prominent builder, and we took ownership of that. We developed a program that suited their needs, and we owned it. And if anybody was on the outside, it looked like it ran super, super smooth. But on the other side of things, no, not at all, man. That thing consumed lives. I mean, there were times where I'm meeting with customers at 2:30 in the morning because they're on the West Coast and they're getting off work, and they needed to do their plans for their house, and they wanted the security system and where the wiring was. But it was us putting in the time and effort that caused it to make it be so successful. I think there was 800 units that we sold over the course of 2 years just from this one account. So it was really, really good. And I learned this, but I also had additional help when I came here, and I had great mentor and leader in somebody that he absolutely helped. I mean, he was, I think, our first guest, Sean Skelly. But I will tell you this, Sean is awesome, but I never got wrung out. Man, that dude came at me like a spider monkey a couple times. He's like, hey, you got to send you out this email. I'm like, I got it. Now, I was talking to Sean just the other day, and he said, what's awesome about this group, this trio right here, is I'm a doer, right? I'll do it. I'll go out. I'll make it happen. I'll stumble and I'll fall. I get great ideas, but I also have that squirrel, and I'll look up to the sky. Now, Isaac, on the other hand, this dude is by the book. He's detail oriented. JJ, he takes the details I'll come up with an idea, Isaac implements it, and then JJ figured out how it's going to work and what's wrong with it. So it's like the perfect harmony that we are able to do that. And that's what from leading from the front, that's what I've taken from all myself.
Well, yeah, it's a symbiotic relationship, right?
Yeah.
And that's the like you said, that's the great thing about it, because it's a oiled machine, well-oiled machine, right? And it's like a each part just fits in perfectly with the next. And so I'm really proud of that as well.
Yes.
So tell me about your transition, man. You came in sales, right? So
Yeah.
tell me about the transition, because you've done it all, you've seen it all. So tell me about the transition going from sales to management, and then into this role.
Yeah. Well, so the biggest transition is when I was at Shreddit, we had purchased our biggest competitor, which was at the time Cintas. So we bought their division. So we had to bring these two teams together. And we were fierce competitors. Like, we didn't like them, they didn't like us. So how are we going to bring these guys together and create a culture? So my role there was to help facilitate that change culture. And what I love about where we're at right now is I'm going through that exact same change culture at Vector as I did when I was at Shredded. And it's very, very similar. I mean, every aspect of it is, from compensations to uh, rollouts, such as like training programs and developing our team to take them to the next level. What made me so excited about this position is it's clearly defining career paths for people at this with our company. We can take a rep here in Pittsburgh and easily put him in Fort Lauderdale if he wants to become a manager or whatever the case may be, whatever position they want to aspire to, they have that opportunity. And by us creating a consultative selling approach and a uniform look, and it gives them the opportunity to plug and play. If their family wants to move to Dallas, if they want to move to LA or not LA, Louisiana, they have the opportunity to. And I like seeing that. The biggest reward that I am seeing is when you're taking somebody that's new to the role, sales manager, sales rep, and being able to show them what success looks like and seeing them apply what we are doing and what we're teaching and how to do it, and seeing their end results, seeing them be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I love to hear that, man, and you're absolutely right. You know, that's the greatest part about this is the success that we're able to see others have. So I share those same sentiments as you, in that regard. Um, we're getting we're coming down, we're rounding third base here, man, but we got two more questions we want to shoot at you real quick before we get out of here.
Yeah.
I'll let JJ go, and then I'll jump in after him.
So I love this question. In all your endeavors that you've done, tell me about a story that you felt the most, whether you helped the person the most, whether it helped you mentally, physically. Tell me a story that really got you that you can't forget.
I think you might be going through that story right now.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
There's, I'm going to take it out from business, because when we remove ourselves from, we are who we are, right? And a leopard don't change their spots, but it's how you view yourself and treat people. I mean, my mom and dad, like my mom always said, don't say anything if you can't say anything nice, but don't push me too far. I'm going to push back, right? My mom and dad taught me about following through and to be successful. When I never missed a single football game, a single baseball practice or game ever in my entire life, except for one. And the only reason I missed it is because I didn't do my homework the night before. So I was supposed to come home from school, do my homework, then go to practice, right? Well, I came home. I might have jumped on the PlayStation or Nintendo at the time, and
Yeah.
I threw on.
Let's be honest, my friend. PlayStation wasn't out when you were a kid.
No,
Yeah.
PlayStation 2. PlayStation 2 was in college.
It was probably like Atari.
Yeah, but I think that's it. Like my mom, she taught me that, hey, that was it. You can't go to practice. And at that point, by me not going to practice, I felt like I was letting my team down, right? So that's the thing. I don't know, man. And I think we were talking earlier, and somebody was talking about like there's different categories of people, like teammates and lone wolf people and all that jazz. And I'm definitely just a team player. Like if you ask me if I lived closer to you guys, trust me, I would be in the woods with you at some point, JJ. I would be offering to babysit anytime you want me, Isaac. But like I've got reps that I know their kids' names. I've gone to baseball games. I've gone to basketball games. I've gone to awful kids soccer and t-ball, you name it. And I'm sitting there, and you get to a point where you just want to be. What motivates me is just seeing other people do well and knowing what they want in life, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I know a question ago I said I had 2 questions for you, but I got 2 more. I'm gonna spit at you. First one is maybe it's from a career perspective, maybe it's from a personal perspective, but let us inside, man. Tell us a little bit about where you see yourself within the next 5 years, whether it's personally, whether it's professionally. You don't have to divulge too much, but just give us a little insight on that. And then I'll jump into my final question after that because I want to have a little fun with it. But go ahead.
All right. Personally, in the next couple years, I hate snow. I mean, I absolutely hate snow. So, I mean, I ski in that, but I don't want to be. I hate driving in it. I won't drive in it. It's just something I'd like to move somewhere warm. I know you don't like it, JJ. I mean, he won't give the
come on down south, baby. Come to us.
I watched what was the Roadhouse movie. I was like, dude, I just want to go live on an island somewhere, call it a day. I'll go down to the Keys. I'll open up a vector down there all day long.
Awesome.
I know that's right, man. Absolutely. I told my wife all the time, I said, we can move south, we can move west, we cannot move north. I can't do it.
Up here, honest to God, do you know those black and white photos that look like they're brown? Like they're black. That's what like 8 months out of the year looks like up here. It's just this like dirty. Oh my God.
No.
Everybody last year was blaming it on the fires up in Canada. I'm like, no, that's not happening.
No, that's just how it is. So I'm Southern boy from the South, you know what I'm saying? Lived in Savannah my whole life. And when it gets 50 degrees down here, that's like freezing. Like I got on all the layers I can wear. Like 50 degrees is like, for me, like I am frozen. So anything under that is just a nightmare for me. And then you talk about the snow, and I see people having to shovel snow to get out their driveway, and I'm like, I can't live that type of life. I can't. So I'm with you, brother. Listen, come on down. We'll walk.
I'm trying to.
Listen, Chad, it's nothing but Southern hospitality down here, man. We'll welcome you with and this is a shout out to from our contest last month. We'll walk in with a nice glass of iced tea. How about that?
Only if it's sweet tea, right? Only if it's sweet tea.
It will be sweet.
I would come
Absolutely.
down in a heartbeat, man. I tell you what, like right now, this is how ridiculous you said that it is with the cold, right? Up here, it's supposed to be 93. They are shutting down concerts this week and moving them inside because it's too hot.
Wow. Yeah, see, 93 is good weather for us.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, now the only thing is my
'Cause
dog.
it'll get the heat index, man. It'll get into the hundreds easy. I can tell you, like with heat index, man, we'll get 105, 107. With the humidity too, it's suffocating. So
Yeah.
90, 95, 96, that's we're loving that. We operate in that. But on the contrary, like when it gets cold down here, like or if there's like ice on the roads, they'll shut schools down. Yeah, we had snow. What was that? 2018, JJ, I think when it snowed, 2018, 2019.
Yep. 28. Yeah.
And literally the entire city shut down for like what, a week and a half, like 10 days. The entire city shut down.
The
Like,
snow barely stuck to the ground.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so we again, we can't handle that either. So we're not.
Have you
we're not
ever had to roll down your window? Have you ever rolled down your window and it looks like your window's still up? You roll down your
No.
window and there's a sheet of ice there. You're like,
No, never
No.
experienced that.
No.
Never experienced that.
So I have when I was stationed in Virginia. The scariest thing I've ever done on my motorcycle is rode on black ice.
oh
So,
yeah.
So I've done some crazy stuff, but riding a bike on black ice and that light's red, I'm not stopping.
No.
Yeah.
Just gotta roll through it.
You just keep going. Let's do this, Chad. I want to end it with this one, man. Give me we were kind of talking about this off mic, so I thought it would be I was thinking to myself that it might be a cool question to bring up here. So give me your top 5 wrestlers of all time. Your favorite.
This is easy. This is easy. And I will even give you, I will tell you the reason.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you go first and then I'll give you mine.
All right. So
you see, I go with up in his chair, JJ. He had to sit up here.
I had to think about. So okay, so if we're going to talk who changed the game, it's going to be Austin, right?
Yes.
You can go around quoting your John 3:16, but Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass." The Rock, 100%.
Yes.
And I'm going to go with Dusty Rhodes.
Okay.
This is more of a controversial.
The dad.
Yeah. Dusty, not Dustin or Cody. Dusty has trained more wrestlers than anybody. And the dude was broke. I mean, broke, had no money. And so I'm going to go with Andre.
I like that.
It's 4.
And I got to go with my boy Bruno.
And
I'm leaving Nate off of it. I mean, Nate and Bruno are right there. They're interchangeable. Nate is 16 times, but wait a second.
No, it's final.
Oh no,
I got to take spades. Like once you throw a spade down, you can't pick it back up.
All right,
you can't renege.
Because I mean,
who's your honorable mention?
Honorable mention. There we go.
Roman.
Okay.
So Roman, I think of it in categories, right? I mean, I was in WCW era, the WCW, the Monday Night Wars, and the way that things have changed from a business standpoint, like wrestling was dying.
Oh yeah,
and then TKO, the Endeavor acquisition, and what those guys are doing right now, like they just $5 billion from Netflix to take. I mean, but Roman, how many days was it? Almost, I think 1,300 days that he was champion. I mean, that was pushing. And Hogan was your like big athlete.
Yeah.
I can't stand Hulk. I think he's awful. But that's for other reasons. But yeah, I'm looking at people that change the game. That's how I look at it.
So I'm gonna give you my favorite. All right. I'm gonna go with Bret the Hitman Hart at number 1. the best technician, the best tactician, the best technical wrestler of all time. My favorite. I always wanted to be one of the kids he gave the glasses to. You know,
Glasses,
every match he walked out, he take his glasses off and give them to a kid. I always wanted to be that kid, but so we weren't able to afford those tickets that close.
Yeah.
We were like way up top with binoculars, but no, Bret Hart at number one. Um, I'm working backwards. I'll tell you, I won't name them. I'll just give you my five. So I got Bret Hart, I got The Undertaker, I got Rock, I got Steve Austin, and man, I am going to go with the most dynamic little man that wrestling has ever seen, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna round out my five like that.
All right. So I'm gonna take it away from all y'all. So we're gonna go with the first original Jimmy Sugar Snooker. Can't go wrong with him. Then we're gonna go with the Hardy Boys.
Okay.
Then we can go. Some people don't like it. Sting.
Love Sting.
He ran in the ring, picked up the Giant, slammed him, pinned him, ran out of the ring before his song was off.
Yeah.
Man, you will never forget that match.
A man called
Yeah.
Sting. It's Sting. It's Sting.
So what I got the
remember when he was raving and he was up in the Raptors and he would just sit up there with his bat.
Yeah.
And like they shoot up, WCW would shoot up and he'd just be sitting there up in the Raptors. That was crazy.
And then finish it off. This is a hard one, kind of like with yours. Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh, I mean, so that's the non.
You got one more. You got one more, man.
Well, I did the brothers.
Oh, okay. The Matt and Jeff. Okay, yeah.
I would honorable mention in mine, just from a entertainment perspective, the two most entertaining guys, and I'm gonna just honorable mention them two. The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and then Randy Macho Man Savage. Those two are probably
Slim Jim, baby.
They did the best interviews of anybody. They did the best interviews of anybody. So yeah. Well, listen, man.
Quick story.
If you guys get a chance, I know we're heading out. I'm just gonna say this: if you're not doing anything, I watched a movie when I was down in Colombia. Man, it is 100% a tearjerker. And if you can watch it, The Iron Claw.
We watched it. Me and Amber watched it.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
And it's hard.
Oh, Daddy.
I was on the Delta flight going down to Fort Lauderdale this week. I started to watch it then, but I'm gonna watch it. I'm probably catch it when I go to Dallas next week.
Yeah, Daddy's ruthless. So watched WCW growing up in Panama City, Club La Vila. They always put the ring over the swimming pool. Well, we were down at the beach, and you see on TV X-Pac or Six, and then you got Scott Hall, Nash, and how massive they are. Well, we seen them three together, and Six is not a small boy. What you see on TV, we walked up to him and we walked right past him, and I looked at Six like this, and he's like tiny. He is tiny compared to. Oh, it was amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome.
This is just Listen, I was on. I ran into Kurt Angle and Corey Graves not too long ago at a Penguin game, and Kurt's gotten smaller, but I was about the same same size as him. Now, I did lose some weight, right? And I was in Chicago one day, and I was coming home, and I don't know if you guys remember Rhino, the wrestler Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I got a picture. I am significantly bigger than him, and he was not. Now. Well, I was heading down, and then the last one is I ran into Braun Strowman, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was 6 a.m. They had Raw the night before. I was flying to Costa Rica, and he was on my flight, and we were connecting in Atlanta, and he was sitting right in front of me. and he was sleeping, and I just wanted to take a quick photo with him. And I waited till we got off the plane. I was like, "Hey, Braun, can I get a photo with you?" And he turned around. I mean, dude, it was like my baby Yoda standing up against that, right? Like it was, and he was like, "I'm on a call," and I was like, "I'm good." I just walked away. I was petrified of that, man.
Don't even worry about it.
So do you guys remember? Do you remember Mark Madden?
Mark Madden, no.
He was a commentator in late WCW. He's a sports analyst up here in Pittsburgh. So I was at the Brian Hildebrand Memorial Show, right? And D'Lo kicked me in my chin. So we went backstage because it was right before Benoit and Eddie Guerrero and those guys made their debut on WCW. I mean on WWE. They were leaving. Yeah. So the main event was Jericho versus D'Lo, and Mankind was the guest referee. So they take me backstage to clean up my chin. And when we were back there, Bruno Sammartino hated Mark Madden, and he was trying to choke Mark Madden out. And it took D'Lo Brown, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Jericho, Chris Benoit, and Shane Douglas. And they were pulling Bruno off of Mark Madden, who was turning blue.
Jeez.
But it was, and that was the time that Chris Candido threw a spitter in my face.
Dang.
Because I said to Sonny, "Can I see you?" I said,
"Man,
show me." It's like, "Show me your puppies."
Listen to the audience, man. I told you, this guy he's Forrest Gump. He's the real life Forrest Gump. He's experienced everything. He's been a part of everything. He's done it all. And I'm excited to bring this episode to you with him because this is just a small nugget of who this guy is and everything he does and everything he knows, the people he knows. And hopefully you'll get to meet him at some point throughout your journey within sales, because this guy is amazing. I absolutely love working with him, man, and to this point, he's a friend. So with that being said, man, it's been another great episode of Hustle and Close. Again, it's the guys. It's me, it's Chad, it's JJ, and we'll be back next week. Always remember the H&C is not for hustle and close, not just for hustle and close, but also for humility and character. Show it, know it, believe it. Peace out.
See you guys.